you articulated your purpose statement, which was awesome. When did you do that, and why did you do that? Because a lot of people don't necessarily have that type of clarity in terms of their direction. So tell me about that.
Well, great question. So for me, I'm looking at my journal over here because I love goal setting. I love goals. I love planning. But the spot at the beginning of my journal, I had put purpose, and I had left it blank for a long time because it just seems so daunting and overwhelming, such a big statement.
Yeah.
And so I could plan out annual or quarterly, all those kind of goals, but the purpose just felt too big. And about 5 months ago, I thought it shouldn't be that way because your purpose is so directional and critical. And when you go through a really unstable time, your purpose can be something that helps keep you constant and steady. And so I thought, why does it have to be so hard? And I came up with 3 questions that helped me craft mine. And then I found that that was a felt need across. And so before COVID-19, I did a number of talks for folks to help them craft their purpose statements, to set up why does it matter, and then what are the key questions to ask yourself, and what are some of the key tactics to do in order to set yourself up for success with defining it. And so that's how I came to mine, because I felt like it shouldn't stay blank, and I really needed it to help create that stability and propelling me forward where I'm wanting to go.
Okay, that's awesome. And so let me ask this, because I've embraced that, and the crisis itself was a catalyst. And my purpose statement is to embrace the life of Jesus. And so the life he lived, and then the life he gave. And so I've spent a lot of time, and it's kind of morphed over the years, but sort of where I landed. But when you're talking to other people about purpose and articulating that purpose and discovering that, there can be a lot of resistance. So have you found that as well? And how have you persuaded people to sort of push through that resistance?
Yeah, I remember one particular talk where there was a gentleman sitting in the audience, like straight in front of me, who had this look like, you kidding me?
So he was the skeptic or the cynic.
Total skeptic. And I think some of the reason are some people just aren't really wired for that. And some of us eat it up. I eat that stuff up. I think you eat that stuff up. Some people just, that's not their jam, and that's okay. I think for those that do spend that time thinking about where am I going and what do I want to be doing, I think that it's a useful tool to help with that. The other thing I think is the other group that might be a bit skeptical is it's uncomfortable. So they want to have it, but they feel so overwhelmed by it. And so something that I find really helpful is going, what is it right now? Like where I sit today is not where I'm going to sit 10 years from now. And so it can change, and be comfortable with being able to edit and just grow with time. But if we don't have anything, then we're going to be kind of waffling around and waving around in the sea. So having something gives us that stability, and it gives us that basis to be able to go, should I say yes or should I say no? And I think our yeses and nos are some of the most important decisions in our lives. And so having a filter to run them through. And so for me, I go, if it's not for the audiences in my purpose statement, and it's not using my greatest skill and contribution to ultimately have the impact that I want to have, then it needs to be no. And that helps give that.
Well, and that's a good point, because I think sometimes we can be indecisive, but if we make that decision early and decisively at a high level, it actually helps make those other decisions for us.
Yes. It removes the stress. It removes that pressure that can just get so heavy when there's so much coming up.